So I'm here with Neill Franklin. Neill is a former Baltimore City commander, veteran Maryland State lieutenant, or Maryland State
Major.
Maryland State Major.
Right.
You formerly trained the Baltimore City Police Department. You were a head trainer for the police department, and now you're the executive director of Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. So you've worn a lot of hats in your time.
Quite a few.
And I think you would agree this is a historic moment for the 6 officers that were charged in Freddie Gray's death. You've also been an outspoken opponent of police accountability, of independent accountability.
Right.
Talk about what this moment means for you and just for the city of Baltimore.
First of all, it's a sad moment. I mean, it really is. Anytime that we have the death of someone, anytime, especially where it's at the hands of our police officers who have taken an oath to serve and protect us, not just from each other, but our constitutional rights. This is a constitutional right issue as well. But I wish we weren't here at this moment, but unfortunately we are. And I think that it appears to be so special and so different because you typically don't see this around the country where police officers are charged for the death of someone who's in their custody. And unfortunately, it happened here in Baltimore. We really don't know what the outcome's going to be, but there's one thing that I want people to keep in mind. I believe that this is the result of failed policies. Many people are talking about this issue from many different perspectives, from police reform, things that are needed there. Yes, we definitely need that. The transport van, the problem with that, how he was not secured in the van, and so on, maybe the attitudes of the officers who were involved in the case and the police unions. But here's the thing. The laws that we are giving our police officers to enforce, such as the laws surrounding the war on drugs, are unenforceable laws that lead to this void, this huge gap between police and community. The absence of a positive relationship. And that's what we're really experiencing. That's the root of this whole problem.
And so people are asking, people are talking about this as symbolic of a greater problem, bigger than Freddie Gray, bigger than what's happening in Baltimore. And many people, and an increasing number of law enforcement officials like yourself, they point to the drug war as one of the underlying causes of these type of interactions and of the criminalization of huge parts of this country. What does it mean for you as a former foot soldier in the war on drugs to now come out, be one of the most high-profile opponents of this war on drugs? And also, I want to add to that, we've also seen a recent murder and homicide spike around this country, and we recently interviewed the head of the Chief of Police Association, and they are doubling down on the drug war. They don't think the drug war is a problem. So although
that's a problem.
although some law enforcement officials have come around, many still have not.
Right. Well, okay. So as a former head trainer for the Maryland State Police, then 4 years here at Baltimore City, where we were trying to implement things of immersing our police officers, our new police officers, into the community, introducing them to the community so that they don't feel alienated from the community, so that the community doesn't view them as an occupying force. These were some of the things that we were trying to instill. Police reform where it's needed at a very high level. That's what we were trying to do. So what I feel about this now is that finally we're going to get some movement here. Unfortunately, under dire circumstances, but finally we're going to get some movement. Momentum is building for police reform. Momentum is building for a change in our policies and laws. And I hope that we keep the momentum going. It's very important not to lose the momentum that we have now.
Now, Neill, some of these policies, some of your stands have put you at odds with the police union here, the Fraternal Order of Police. They have come out and unequivocally backed the police officers, and they have condemned the prosecutor, essentially. Some of the motions cite conflict of interest in the defense's case.
Yeah.
What is your response to the stance the Fraternal Order of Police here has taken in this case and generally on the issue of accountability for officers?
So I understand what the basic position of the union is to advocate for their officers that are members of their organization. But their number one priority is the professionalism of that department and its members. And what that means is how they serve the public. And it's no secret that they're not serving the public in a proper way. The union has to.
And you're saying this as a former longtime veteran officer yourself.
Absolutely. The people, all people, as we consider the one Baltimore here, which means everyone, deserves the same amount of service, the same high-level service, the same respect, protecting their constitutional rights. Everyone deserves that. But unfortunately, we've gotten to a place where the police go into certain communities, black and brown and poor communities, and police with a blanket approach. Everyone is guilty. This is what I see, that everyone is guilty of committing some sort of crime, so therefore we're going to stop, search, and treat everyone the same way. We've got to get into situational policing. If you've got someone who's shooting someone, if you've got someone who's raping, if you've got someone who's committing crimes against our children, then you go after them, you do the legwork, you do what you're supposed to do as a police officer, get the evidence, and you go after that person and do what you're supposed to do in getting violent criminals off the street. But you just can't go into a community and stop people and pull people off of stoops and start searching them because you think they may be possessing drugs. And here we go. It's all about drugs, going back to this drug war, these failed policies of the drug war, which has put us at odds with our community. I just think the union needs to understand that first and foremost, their responsibility is to the citizens of Baltimore City.
And the FOP here and across the country, the police unions have opposed independent investigations, independent oversight of police. Do you think police can police themselves?
I don't think anyone can police themselves. I'm not just talking about the police. I'm talking about any profession. I'm talking about us as individuals. We should always have a second set of eyes on us. We should welcome a second set of eyes on us. If you are doing things appropriately, according to law, according to policy, what do you have to fear? Absolutely nothing. And at the end of the day, we should be policed and judged by the ones we have signed on to serve. We elected to do this work. Okay, we're not serving as slaves, you know. We're not, for instance, like in the past, drafted into the military. You signed on a dotted line to be a police officer in Baltimore City. So do what you're supposed to do according to law and policy and serve the citizens appropriately. If you don't like it, if it's too big a task for you, if you think it's too dangerous a job for you, then quit. You know, but don't become a truck driver, don't become a roofer, don't become a fisherman, don't become, many other, employed by many other occupations, because they're far more dangerous than being a police officer. And I don't say that in a mean way or in a negative way. I'm just saying that, yes, we have a dangerous job out here as police officers, but there are many more jobs that are also just as dangerous or even more dangerous. If you don't have it within you to properly serve the citizens of Baltimore, if you don't have it within you to feel that you're part of the community and not coming in to police the community, if you don't have that within you, please hang up your gun, hang up your badge, hang up your hat, and go do something else.
Neill Franklin, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Jesse.
Back to you.